The first X-Men Apocalypse trailer has arrived, and we're breaking it down right here on Clever Newsfeed. It's the end of the world as we know it, and it doesn't look like the X-Men feel very fine. The long-awaited X-Men Apocalypse trailer has arrived, and it promises to live up to its title. The trailer starts off with young Jean Grey, played by Game of Thrones Sophie Turner, having a vision, or as Professor X sees it, a dream, about the destruction of the world. Right off the bat, it seems to suggest that Jean Grey could be more in tune with her powers than even Xavier, though it could also be that he's attempting to shield her from the truth, or perhaps Apocalypse is somehow blocking Xavier from seeing the same future. We then see Apocalypse and young Storm with a bald-headed man. This is Caliban, a mutant with the ability to sense other mutants, which Apocalypse is likely using to find his other potential Four Horsemen. The trailer then gives us a brief history lesson on Apocalypse. He himself says he has been known by many names through many lifetimes. We are then reintroduced to Rose Byrne's character, Moira McTaggart, who tells Xavier and Havoc that many believe the world's first mutant was born tens of thousands of years ago, and the existence of mutants today is a second coming. From many of the items on Moira's desk and in her office, it appears her job at the CIA involves researching mutants, and more specifically, Apocalypse. We also see from a picture on her desk that she's had a son in the 2 decades since we last saw her. We once again hear Apocalypse's voice speaking to, we assume, his fellow mutants, saying they are all his children, but they are all lost because they follow blind leaders. We see shots of old and new characters including Beast, young Cyclops, Mystique, young Nightcrawler, and Jubilee. We also see what looks to be possibly Moira coming out of a cave and Xavier among some of his students. We know from the synopsis that Apocalypse will awaken after thousands of years to be disillusioned by the world he discovers, and sets out to cleanse the world of humans and rule a society of mutants. The shot of Xavier seems to suggest he considers him one of these blind leaders. We then see Apocalypse attempting to recruit a disheartened Magneto, who has been attempting to live a quiet life since the events of Days of Future Past. A tragic loss makes him an easy target to become one of Apocalypse's Four Horsemen. We then see Moira explaining that Apocalypse always has 4 followers that he imbues with powers, and are introduced with quick shots of his other 2 horsemen, Psylocke and Angel. While Havoc suggests that Apocalypse took that idea from the Bible, Moira suggests that the Bible could have gotten that from Apocalypse. We then get a shot of Xavier surrounded by some of his fellow X-Men wearing Cerebro. You can see a tear rolling down his face, and he says he can control all of us. We're assuming the he that he's referring to is Apocalypse. While mind control was not one of his powers in the comics, according to the film's synopsis, Apocalypse has amassed the powers of many other mutants through the years, so he likely will have very different powers in the film than he did in the comics. With his 4 horsemen complete, Apocalypse gains access to Xavier's school and appears to be looking to get his hands on Xavier himself. For what reason, we're not sure, but this causes Mystique to take over as leader of the group that appears to consist of Beast, Quicksilver, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Moira, and Nightcrawler, with Jubilee's role questionable. We then see Quicksilver, Nightcrawler, Mystique, and either Jean Grey or Moira lying unconscious in some kind of room or device. We should point out that this is the only time we see Mystique in her natural form throughout this entire trailer. It's also interesting to note that the team's uniform looks closer to the one seen in the original trilogy than those we saw them wearing in First Class. Mystique tells her group of young X-Men that they shouldn't try to control their powers because this is war, as they stand in the rubble of what we're guessing is Cairo, the city where Apocalypse finds Storm. One of the biggest reveals of the trailer is Apocalypse's power to alter his size, as seen when he's fighting Xavier in the mansion. While this could be taking place in Xavier's mind, Apocalypse was able to alter his form in the comics. We then get a glimpse of Quicksilver in action. He appears to have traded his Pink Floyd t-shirt for a Rush one, and looks stressed as he races through the mansion. We're guessing he's in hot pursuit of Apocalypse and the 4 horsemen attempting to get Xavier back. We then get a look at Angel, Storm, and Magneto in action. Psylocke doesn't get the same attention, which makes us wonder if perhaps she's an early casualty. We then see Apocalypse has set his sights on New York, and he declares they will build a better world from the ashes of everything humanity has built. The trailer ends with Xavier announcing he's never felt power like this before as his eyes turn black, and we get our first look at the Xavier we know today. James McAvoy has previously stated that Xavier will lose his hair after going through a traumatic experience that not only causes some of his hair to fall out, but also causes Xavier to rip it out himself. We'll have to wait and see what exactly Apocalypse has in store for Charles and the rest of the X-Men, but what did you think of the first trailer, and was there anything we missed? Head down to the comments or tweet us at Clever Movies and share your thoughts, and then click here to find out what we want to see happen in the film when it arrives in theaters on May 27th. I'm Danielle Robay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon right here on Clever Newsfeed. Click left to find out what other trailers made our list of the best of the year, or click right to see where X-Men Apocalypse landed on our ranking of 2016's most anticipated comic book movies.